DNA. It's like a blueprint for life. It determines what you're like, what sex you are. How many sexes are there? 2. Also, that's where he keeps his testosterone, so he's fucking well hard, right? And if you take a finger and flick a testicle, he's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. He's thrown up, he's on the floor, he's out of the game, absolutely kippered. Why are you putting it on the outside? For a laugh, just for a laugh. Artificial intelligence, the latest existential threat to humanity. The rise of the robots, so intelligent, they can teach themselves, they can teach each other, they can build each other, you know? Soon they know everything there is to know, and they hate us. Why wouldn't they, right? And they'll be so realistic, they'll walk amongst us, they'll go to work, right? You know when they're getting really human? When they start calling in sick. Mondays, I mean, they've learned all the tricks. They go, oh, I'm not coming in today. Why not? Oh, fed up. What's the matter with you? They sort of scan social media. ADHD. Self-diagnosed. They'll be in HR all the time, won't they? Be like, Ryan in accounts is robophobic. Why would he say? Call me a whiny plastic cunt. I think we should be allowed to insult robots when it's happened, you know, because we've made them to make our life easier, and that would get things off our chest, because it's bad enough, isn't it, with real people, you're getting in trouble, saying the wrong thing, people taking things the wrong way now, like, oh my God, oh, I made fat Linda cry today. Oh, what happened? I just shouted out to her, then I remembered we only call her that behind her back. I'm sure people didn't used to get offended all the time when I was little. I might be remembering it wrong, but not grown-ups, not your parents, not your grandparents. They grew up dodging bombs and their firstborn having polio and the menfolk dying at 50 of lung disease. They could take a fucking joke, right? It was all about the wind-up. I used to wind up my mum all the time. This is a true story. When I went off to university, after about a week, I phoned home. My mum answered. She went, hello? I went, it's Ricky. She went, you all right? I went, not really. I'm in hospital. I think I'm blind. She went, what? I went, no, I'm only joking. Right? She went, you silly bugger. She went, I could have had a heart attack. Right? And she's right. She could have had a heart attack. And I knew that. That's how committed I am to having a laugh. You're welcome. You're welcome. Space travel, the last-ditch attempt. When we fuck this planet completely, can we leave its dying husk and move to a new one and start again? I don't think so. Not in my lifetime. Probably not in yours. You know, it's like the closest one, the only one viable, is Mars, and that's 9 months away on a rocket. Right? It's got no atmosphere, an average temperature of minus 70 degrees. How's this for irony? Scientists are working out whether they can detonate nuclear warheads in the crust to release the frozen water to cause an atmosphere and get a little bit of global warming going. I mean, I don't know. It's only billionaires have got enough money to waste on exploration. There's nothing out there, you know. It's like, now you can do space tourism. Have you heard of that? You can pay $150,000. They shoot you into space for an hour, and you float around going, I'm in space. I mean, we're already in space. Earth is right in the fucking middle of space, right? It's the best bit of space there is. It's got car parks and cinemas. It's like there's nothing else to see. It's like living in London and going, I wonder what Coventry's like. You don't... But I'm optimistic. I am. I think people care about the planet deep down. I think it's just that most people on the planet don't realise that most people on the planet are destroying the planet. Most people don't realise that in my lifetime, we've wiped out 70% of all animal populations. And what's left en masse on the earth of animals is 36% human, 60% farm animals just to feed humans, and 4% wild now. People don't realise that we have to tear down entire rainforests, the lungs of the earth, just to grow grain, to feed these cows, to feed us. We steal grain from third world countries because they want hard currency. They can't even feed their own people. We take their grain, feed our cattle. Meat eaters. If you eat meat every day, if you gave up 1 day a week, we'd feed another 100 million people. But I think people care. It's out of sight, out of mind. Think of the animal that most people know, their dog. They love their dog. They wouldn't let anyone hurt their dog. And a dog is a cow, is a sheep, is a deer. People love their dog so much, they won't even watch a fictional thing where a dog gets hurt. And I get that. There's a website, it's a real website. It's called doesthedogdie.com, right? And it was set up because people would watch a film or a program with a dog in it, and something would happen to the dog, and they'd turn it off. It would ruin it for them. It would ruin their day, right? So this website was set up. You could go to it, you could put in any film or TV show and ask, does a dog die? And someone would answer you, no, or whatever. And it's become a thing for anyone's phobias. Anything you don't want to see in a film, you just look up the film and they answer your question, right? So I looked up one film on here, Schindler's List. Absolutely real. Schindler's List, doesthedogdie.com, right? First question, does a dog die? No. Does a cat die? No. Are any animals abused? Someone answers, there is a chicken that's handled roughly, but otherwise unharmed. Now, I love animals more than anyone I know, but if I was Jewish, I'd be slightly offended by this avenue of questioning. Imagine that in real life. Imagine someone says, oh, yeah, my grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. You go, oh, what happened? Oh, they were dragged from their house and sent to the gas chamber. Oh, was a chicken hurt? What? But as I say, it's become, you can ask any question about anything. Someone says, is there child abuse? Is teeth damaged? Is there a hanging? Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Well, yeah, yes. Someone says, does someone fall downstairs? Who's scared of slapstick? It's like... Anyway, so this website was founded in 2010, so it's run about 13 years, right? And the later questions start reflecting the times we live in now, and they get more and more fragile and narcissistic. These questions were asked this year. Check it out, Schindler's List, right? Someone says, are there any fat jokes? Would that make this worse? Well, imagine the real thing. Imagine I'm in a concentration camp, right? I'm naked, everyone around me is naked. We've got a commandant herding us towards a gas chamber, and he goes, move it, fatty, right? And I go, rude. No, that has ruined the whole experience, if I'm honest. Someone asks, is there hate speech? Yeah, there is. Suck it up, buttercup. Are there any man in a dress jokes? Very few jokes. If you've come to this film for a giggle, you're going to be very disappointed. But this one takes the biscuit for me. Remember, this is a movie set in the 1940s about arguably the worst atrocity in civilized human history. Check this out. Is someone misgendered? Fucking hell. This is quite sweet. Is there any anti-Semitism? Yeah. This is pretty much the mother load, right? Forget Kanye. This is off the fucking charts. Don't do that when you're talking about this. Fuck's sake. I was doing the graph. I'll do it like that. This is off the charts. That's... Wouldn't things have been different if that was Hitler's salute? The whole thing would have been... He goes like, it's Hitler. Like, hiya. This is interesting. Does it have a sad ending? Right? Someone says yes, and then someone else says no. And I thought about it. No, but then I remembered, if you've seen the film, if you remember, when the story sort of ends, Spielberg then tacks on a real bit of footage where he gets real life descendants of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up, and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So... I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there were no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think of the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh no, not water. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, well, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. I'll leave you with a true story. It's still on the theme of does the dog die? When I was 7 years old, my mum took me to the cinema to see a film called Old Yeller. Beautiful film, yeah, made in the late 50s and sort of set in the Wild West on this homestead. And it's about a kid who adopts this little junkyard dog and he calls him Old Yeller and they grow up together. And it's a buddy movie, it's a love story between this kid and his dog. And eventually, when the dog's big and, you know, he protects this kid in the wild, he fights a cougar and a bear and a wolf or whatever. But towards the end of the film, the kid's about 13 maybe, it takes a dark turn. I remember the kid sort of looking at Old Yeller, who's locked in the barn, and the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? Yeah, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and, getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun, and the kid goes, no. And she goes, you know we've got to do it, boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog, I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward, right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane, and she says, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, enjoy, right? I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text. Nothing happens to that dog, does it? I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I thought she knew, So I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. If you bought a platinum ticket, the money goes to an animal charity, and you've raised $2 million so far, so thank you so much. I even get a bit of stick about that on social media. There's always someone who goes, why do you only speak up for animals? And I go, well, because they haven't got a voice of their own except parrots. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat a parrot, it goes, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that has sort of been one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People tell you off for saying certain things or thinking certain things or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart. You go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humor. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humor is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And we've established you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, what if I just pushed that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? I don't get that one. what I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Why would I? Another theme of it's not just going to happen to me, it's going to happen to all of you. Because the longer you live, the more shit you see. And you go, oh, fuck, this again, right? And the more burden you carry. And the older you get, the weaker you get, so the burden gets heavier. And you go, oh, God, this again. And you can't die nowadays. You know what I mean? You go, oh, thank God, I'm dying. Oh, fuck, I'm back. You know what I mean? They can transplant every organ now. Whatever's got, transplant every organ. Not your brain. That wouldn't make sense. You are your brain. So that would be an everything else transplant, wouldn't it? But I'd sign up for that. I don't care about this. It's to get this round. If I could leave £1 million to science, so when I died, suppose when I died, my body's crushed, killed instantly, but my head's intact. They keep that on ice, wait for a body donor. Some poor bloke gets his head crushed, put my head on his body, and I'm back. I know. Statistically, I will get a bigger penis as well, so... The odds are in my favour there, trust me. I wake up in the future, I see the scar and I go, oh, that's all right. You know what I mean? I go, oh, you've always wanted a big knob? I go, yeah, I've always wanted a big knob. I go, let's have a little bit of me time. So we, and I start, but then every time I look down, I go, oh, that's not my knob. Do you know what I mean? I go, oh, that's not my knob. Oh, that's not my knob. It's not my hand either, carry on. It's like, you know what I mean? I was doing an interview a while ago. I don't think the journalist liked me. He asked me this question. I thought it was rude, right? So I gave a fake answer, right? He said, so what have you got planned for your funeral? And I went, I want to be fed to the lions at London Zoo. He went, really? I went, yeah. I want the zookeeper to take up my big, fat, dead, naked, bloated body in a wheelbarrow, right? Just dump it in the lion's den, doof, like that. Loads of tourists going, is that the bloke from The Office? Like that, right? And then 2 big lions come out and just start eating me. And lions, they start with the soft bits of the body to get inside to the rib cage. So they'd probably get a testicle each, wouldn't they? Because that'd be the easiest of it. By then, my testicles would be about a yard apart, so that'd be easy. They just start eating towards me. Like Lady and the Tramp, really romantic. So I said that as a joke, but he totally believed me. So much so that when he was writing up the article, he called London Zoo and asked them if that would be allowed. And they said, no, of course not, right? So when the article came out, the headline was, London Zoo refused Ricky's request to be fed to lions. Like I'm a fucking psychopath. My point is, you can't worry about what happens after you die. Don't live your life, let someone else worry about it. You're dead, you've done your bit, right? I know some people who really are stressed about what happens after they die, some religious people, and they believe in heaven and hell and all that. So now they're getting a bit, oh, have I been good enough? I mean, great, heaven's great, but hell, what if I go to hell? And I go, there's no hell. It's made up to frighten kids. Like, my favourite horror film of all time is still the original Exorcist, right? First time I saw it on VHS, right? I was blown away. I watched it again straight away. I loved it, right? And there's a bit in that that's meant to be the really poignant bit. And I laughed the first time I saw it because it was the idea of the devil being this crass and childish. You know the bit. So the little girl's possessed by the devil and they're doing an exorcism and they're throwing holy water on it. She's hissing, right? They're going, the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. And at one point, the devil makes the little girl turn her head round and he makes her say, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Right? And the bloke, she said, he's devastated. He's like, because he's thinking, oh, that's the real devil. So he knows, so it's true, my poor mother sucking cocks in hell, right? If scientists actually found the devil, I was wrong. There isn't it. They found the devil, they tested him, it was peer-reviewed, it won the Nobel Prize for fucking everything, because it'd be the greatest discovery of all time, right? And I'd look at the science, I'd be mind-blown, but I'd go, well, you've got to follow the science. So, you know, yeah, I believe in the devil. I wouldn't even be belief, it would be knowledge. I'd want to meet him. If the devil actually existed, I'd want to see it for my... As long as I was safe, I don't know what makes you safe from the devil. But if he existed, we'd find out, wouldn't we? We'd, like, vampires live forever, but now we know a bit of garlic really fucks them up. So we discover something, like if you put a devil in a cage with a sprig of parsley on top, he's weak or something, right? And I'd meet the devil, right? And I go for an order, and I go, he'd be there. I go, are you the devil? He'd go, yeah, right? And then he tried to hurt my feelings. And that was his best shot. And he went, Rick, I go, what? He goes, your mother sucks cocks in hell. I go, I don't care. One, she's dead. Two, she was heterosexual. Three, she never had her teeth in towards the end. So, no. But it's hell. Think of all the terrible things that could be happening to her. Being raped by red-hot pokers, rats eating her eyes. My mum gets cock duty. Go on, girl. That has got to be one of the better jobs in hell. And it's like, terrible job on earth. I've never sucked a cock in my life. I never will. But if I died and I'm in hell, right? Tortured for eternity, I'd see the first cock, I go, I'm on this. Not a problem. Not a problem. I'd be looking around seeing people skinned alive. I'd chow down. I'd be looking over the big man going, I'm doing a great job here, leave me on this. And then there's the devil with a clipboard looking a bit confused. No one's ever gone straight for the cock. But he goes, okay, carry on. I go, what if he then went, I did have you down for ironing. I go, fuck. I could have been ironing. Who's getting their cock sucked in hell? That's what I would. Because we're there for punishment, and that's a little treat. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'd be there, right, thinking, feeling a bit smug, right, and I'm thinking, oh, this is great. Not great, but I'd be... But the devil's a trickster, isn't he? One day I'd go, I wonder whose cock this is. And I look up, oh, it's fucking Hitler. I'm fucking sucking Hitler's cock. How is this all right to do this in public? Because if I followed one of you home tonight and I shouted through your letterbox, sucking fucking Hitler's cock in hell, you call the police. But you've paid to hear me say this shit. Oh. I'll tell you what's very popular in England at the moment, and in America, particularly California. Mental illness. Oh, it's taken off. It's taken off a trip. When I was at school, you were either thick or clever, normal or mental, right? Now there's like 1,000 new mentals, right? And it used to be a stigma. They go, I'm not mental. Now people go, I'm mental. You know what I mean? They want to, I'm mental. It's like everyone I know in media is ADHD. They go, I'm ADHD. Yeah, so I'm ADHD. Take the test. Yeah, I took the test 5 times, passed it on the 5th. Oh, well done. Right? They go, and it's like, I'm writing a song about it, I'm writing a poem about it, I'm writing a book about it. Oh, well, yeah. And they brag about it. They put it in their CV and in their... it's got disorder. When did we start bragging about having a disorder? 20 years ago, you wouldn't have got given a business card and it said Ron Pike, anal warts. You know, just... keep it to yourself. No one cares. I think the new pandemic amongst the youth is going to be fear and anxiety. Because now we've had a whole generation who grew up with social media. Instant gratification doesn't build character. They're not socialised properly. They can't deal face to face with people because they're used to hiding behind an identity and an avatar. And now they've got teachers and parents enabling their mental illness as opposed to trying to snap them out of it. And now they fear the thing they once loved. They're worried about the internet and AI. Young people are really worried about artificial intelligence. And I say this about AI. If it starts becoming a burden, switch it off, right? Like we did Nan. Another big fear amongst the youth is climate change. They're really worried about global warming. And I looked into it, and if the polar ice caps completely melt, the sea level will go up about 60 metres around the world. So all coastal areas will be affected a bit. But the real devastation, the real loss of life, will be in places like China and India. So relax. It's fine. But we all suffer from a bit of mental illness. We're all on the spectrum, aren't we? We've all got a little bit of OCD or anxiety or whatever. Like I'm a hypochondriac, right? Every morning I wake up and I think, right, what's wrong? Like I go, what's that? Is that wasn't there yesterday? What's that? And I Google it. I think what, and I catastrophise as well. So I Google it and And the first sort of like 5 or 6, I'm fine with. Like, it goes, it could be anxiety, yeah, could be lack of sleep, yeah, I didn't sleep. Could be lack of fibre, yeah, I'll have some more fibre. Could be lack of vitamin B, I'll get it. And then I just keep pushing me, like, it goes, could be cancer. I go, it's cancer, it's cancer. Once I came out of the bathroom and I went, Jane, I think I've got bowel cancer. She went, we had beetroot last night. I go, oh yeah, cheers. I want to end with a couple of true stories, if I may. As I said, I think this is my most honest and confessional show so far. So I want to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and that's to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of the Golden Globes. Right? And thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, they hated me. Right? Who was this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which was unheard of apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? Right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it. Right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, okay, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad, there's Leo, there's Bob, oh, this one. And this big guard showed me to this room, and he opened the door, and he shut it behind me, and I looked, and there were suddenly 10 lawyers in suits. It was usually like this middle-aged woman in a jumper, right? And I thought, what the fuck's happened? I think, oh, is it because it's my last time and they're just making sure I don't say anything? Right? And they were there, and I went, hi. They went, hi. I said, should I do the monologue? They went, please. Tough crowd. Right? So I had the monologue, right, and I was sort of going through. It was like 7 or 8 minutes long. So I was doing the jokes, and after each joke, I sort of looked up, and they were sort of going, making notes like that. A couple of the younger ones were going like that, right? And I got to the end, and I went, that's it. And they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old, he had like white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play, because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg, and licking her own minge. Right? So, this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah. And he went, okay, great. I thought, this is easy. I went to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we go out around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say... Welcome to my show. It's not a show. There's no dancers or jugglers. It's basically a bloke talking, which is essentially what stand-up comedy is, isn't it? A bloke talking. Sexist. What about all the funny female comedians? Like, No. Right. No. I'm not doing that. Okay, right. That was irony, okay? There's going to be a bit of that throughout the show. See if you can spot it, okay? Now, that's when I say something I don't really mean for comic effect, and you as an audience, you laugh at the wrong thing because you know what the right thing is. It's a way of satirising attitudes. Like that first joke, I used the old-fashioned sexist trope that women aren't funny. Now, in real life, I know there are loads of funny women. Like, I did it again. Well spotted. Good. No, but there are. Dame Edna Everage. She's... Eddie Izzard. She's brilliant, isn't she? She's not only a great comedian, she's also a great actress, isn't she? She was brilliant in that thing as that man. Good to be back. I fell back in love with stand-up on my last tour, Humanity. I played arenas around the world. Netflix bought it for a record amount. It was the most watched special of the year. I thought, everyone loves me now. Everyone loves me now. Then I got this tweet. Real tweet. Call yourself a comedian? He knows I do. Literally says the word in my Twitter bio. Call yourself a comedian, you're about as funny as... Now, I thought he was going to go for the jugular and say Miranda, or... Come on, guys, don't... I'm joking. Right. Call yourself a comedian, you're about as funny as a fart at a baby's funeral. He was trying to hurt my feelings. But his big mistake was choosing something that would be fucking hilarious. As if that would... A fart at a baby's funeral. Big echoey church. Everyone just silently sobbing like that. Tiny little coffin. And someone farts, you'd laugh. Even if it was your baby. You know, no. If you're at the funeral, it's been dead a week, do you know what I mean? You're probably up for a giggle. Particularly if you're the father. If you're the mother, you probably still find it hard seeing the funny side of things. Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God. You know, the ones with wombs. Oh. Those fucking dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person that isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot. What if he rapes me? What if she rapes you? You fucking turf whore. But that tweet sums comedy up, doesn't it? How subjective it is. How one person, some people can find them hilarious, some people find them the least funny person in the world. And when someone says to me about another comedian, they say, oh, they're not funny. Even if I agree with them, I stand up, I say, well, you can't say that. You've got to say, you don't find them funny, you know. And I hate it when people say, that joke was offensive. I gotta say, no, you've got to say, you found it offensive. Because it's all about feelings, and feelings are personal. And there's loads of types of comedy, and comedy evolves, you know. There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, you know. There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space for the audience, woke comedy. And I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate. Can't mention him anymore. He's cancelled. Not enough to apologise and move on. You've got to... Like poor Kevin Hart. See, Kevin Hart, he got the job hosting the Oscars. It was his best day ever. He was on Twitter going, oh, I've wanted to do this all my life, right? And then someone found these 10-year-old tweets, right? That they were sort of childish, sort of shitty, homophobic tweets. It was about his son. He was mucking around. He said, oh, my son's doing so-and-so. I hope he's not gay. There was a massive backlash. He went, oh, sorry, I'm not homophobic, really sorry. He deleted them, right, and said, I'm really sorry. 10 years later, someone finds a screen grab and goes, look, he's done this. Oh, big thing. The Oscars go, oh, you got to apologise again. He went, no, I've apologised. I can't keep apologising. And he's right. If there's no value to saying sorry and evolving, he might as well just tweet him again. Right? That's how I deal with shit, anyway. But if you're the type of person to revel in someone getting cancelled for something they said 10 years ago, you're just ensuring that one day you'll be cancelled for something you said today. You can't predict what will be offensive in the future. You don't know who the dominant mob will be. You know, like the worst thing you can say today, get you cancelled on Twitter, death threats, whatever. The worst thing you can say today is, women don't have penises, right? Now, no one saw that coming. There are no 10-year-old tweets of people saying... You won't find a 10-year-old tweet of someone saying women don't have penises. Do you know why? We didn't think we fucking had to. Liam Neeson. Oh, he nearly got cancelled, didn't he? Liam Neeson. Now, I don't know why he told this story, but he did at a press junket to a journalist, right? And it was where he just started saying, it was 30 years ago, he said, and my friend came home and she'd been raped, right? And that's not the funny bit. He said, she'd been raped. I said, what did the guy look like? He said he was a black guy. He said, so I got my cosh and I went out looking for the first black guy. He said, nothing happened. I came to my senses, right? But the weird thing about that story is, who has a cosh? Who has it? But it was touch and go. They cancelled the premiere that night because of the backlash and that people wanted the film to be deleted. And I get it. Some people can't separate the art form with the artist's personal life. Now, I know Liam. I've worked with him. He's a lovely man. He's definitely not racist. But when that broke, even I was like, oh, will I ever be able to find Schindler's List funny again? You know? I do still find it funny, obviously. But now there's so much outrage and we hear about it and it's taken seriously, you know. There's Oxbridge comedians writing for the posh papers, telling you the rules of comedy. They're laying it down, laying down the law, right? And it's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down. You should never punch down. Sometimes you've got to punch down, like if you're beating up a disabled toddler. You know what I mean? If you punch up, you'll miss the little cunt and he'll win, you know. I like that joke because it highlights the difference between metaphorical punching down in jokes and actual punching down. But people nowadays want you to believe that words are actual violence, right? Now, you laughed at a joke about beating up a disabled toddler. No one got hurt. If I'd have actually dragged out a disabled toddler and started beating him up, you wouldn't laugh, right? That's why I dropped that bit. But these people are virtue signalling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities. Like, they're basically saying minorities haven't got a sense of humour, which is so patronising. And I get that as well, to what it's like to be outnumbered. In this country, we're still only 5% black, 5% Asian, 5% LGBTQ, you know, tiny numbers. Now, I'm a white, heterosexual multi-millionaire, right? There's less than 1% of us. Do I whine? No. Do I don't mind. I just get on with it. Come on, Rick. Come on, Rick. Just keep I'm like Rosa Parks. Do you know what I mean? I'm like... Except I fought for the right to never have to take a seat on a bus. But... Just people complain about things they don't have to watch. It doesn't affect them, you know. And again, everyone's got the right to be offended and complain, but they've got to know that we're not trying to offend. That's not our aim. You know, we're trying to make you laugh. We're trying to give you a good time. And yeah, here's the deal, right? So I riff. If I say something tonight that's so offensive, so off that you've never heard anything so fucking off the charts in your life, right? Don't make a scene. Go to the box office after the show. They can't give you money back straight away, but there's a form you fill out with the complaint, and I take those away and I shit on them. So that's the rules of comedy. Supernature. Why supernature? Well, for two reasons. One, I want to debunk the supernatural. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I believe that anything that exists is by definition part of nature and is explainable. If not now, then eventually. Also, supernature, because nature is super enough, you know? It's amazing that we're even here discussing it. We're the only species that allows the universe to understand itself, right? The chances of us being here at all, the chance of you being you, existing now, the chance of that sperm hitting that egg is 400 trillion to 1. And I think life is like a holiday. We don't exist for 13.5 billion years. Then we have these 80, 90 years if we're lucky. Then we die, never to exist again. And some people are even offended by that. They go, you can't say that. It can't be chance. It's too good. Someone must have made it all. And, you know, I'm too special. I can't just not exist. I'll live again. I'll go to heaven, I'll be with my friends and family, or I'll come back as a spirit and I'll walk amongst you, or I'll be reincarnated, I'll come back as someone else. That'd just be someone else. That's all that's happened. You're not involved. That is just someone else, right? Many people believe in reincarnation, of course. Some people even claim they remember who they were in a previous life. There's a society in America, of course, in California, of course, right? And they remember who they were in a previous life. And they're always someone pretty special in their previous life. Not so much in the life they've got now, right? But I saw a documentary about it, and every year they have a come as you were party, where they go dressed as the person they were in history. 2 Napoleons. So at least one of them is fucking lying. No reincarnation, no ghosts. Have you seen all the ghost hunter shows? Oh my God, hundreds of ghost hunter shows, years and years. Celebrity ghost hunter, all around the world, thousands and thousands of hours of footage. They've never seen a fucking ghost. Not what, it's all like, oh, what was that? Was it that I was just the, no, not the. Oh, did you hear that? Was it just that? Was it you? Oh, no, no. Imagine if wildlife programmes were like that. Imagine watching David Attenborough all these years, and everybody goes, here on Kilimanjaro, we see the... Oh, that's not... And by the banks of the Limpopo, the elusive... Oh, that's not... You'd stop watching the cunt. I've never seen a ghost. The pedo hunter shows, on the other hand, there's usually a couple in the crew just in case, you know what I mean? Particularly if it's a BBC production. Oh, shut up. There's no reincarnation, no ghost, no heaven, I believe. People can't get over that. People quiz me on Twitter when they find out I'm an atheist. They go, "What, you don't believe in God at all?" I go, "No." Do you pray? I go, "No." They go, "Why don't you pray just in case there's a God?" And I say, "Why do you put garlic over your door just in case there's a Dracula?" Right? And I've got no problem with praying, you know. I know loads of nice Christians and Muslims and Jews, and if one of my family is very ill, they always say, "Oh, I'll pray for them." And I always say, "Oh, thanks very much," because it's a nice gesture. If they said, "Oh, we also cancelled the chemotherapy," I go, "Don't do that, don't do that." Pray, fill your boots, son, but let's do the praying and the chemotherapy, shall we? My last special only dropped on Netflix the Christmas before last. And in that special, I talked about the previous special going to #1 because of all the complaints. And the silly cunts did it again. When will they learn? It's like, honestly, it's like, ban it from the #1 everywhere. My name trended for 3 days that Christmas. I wasn't the only comedian who trended that Christmas. Do you know the comedian Rosie Jones? She's got cerebral palsy, and she was on a TV quiz show, and the trolls came out on Twitter going, "She's not funny." People saying, "You're only saying that because she's disabled. You're only defending her because she's disabled." Sort of back and forth, right? But that wasn't her biggest controversy of the year. This is a true story. Earlier that year, Rosie Jones made a documentary for Channel 4 about her condition, her plight, some of the trolling she gets, some of the insults she gets called, right? And she provocatively called the documentary, "Am I a Retard?" Yeah, great. Power to her, right? Now, the people who complained were disability campaigners. They had a go at her. They went, "You can't use that word." She went, "What? Why?" I said, "Because you're physically disabled. That's a derogatory term for people with mental disabilities. If you want to use a derogatory term, you should use one that describes your particular condition." So basically, Rosie Jones said, "Am I a retard?" And disability campaigners said, "No, you're a spastic." That's harsh, isn't it? I mean, it's context. She was using it to empower people. She was called that. She didn't go, "No, that's not me." She sort of embraced it and, reclaimed the word. So disability campaigners are saying, "No, you've got to be very specific, right? Only people who are actually retarded can use the word retard, right?" But who's going to tell them? You know what I mean? Who's going to... You're not going to go into a room and there's Bubba sort of lying on the floor, crying in, right? And you go, "All right, Bubba." He goes, "Yeah." "Oh, no. Don't. It's a tightrope. He goes, "Yeah." You go, "You can say retard." "Why?" "Think, you thick cunt. Just think." Anyway, I think she should be allowed to use the word in context. If she can't use the word, then I've used the word now, so I'm in trouble again. Actually, I didn't use the word, did I? It's a point I want to make. People say, "Oh, he used the word so-and-so." I didn't use the word. Using the word would be calling someone that word. That's using the word, isn't it? I said the word in a discussion about the fucking word. That should be allowed, shouldn't it, amongst adults? And if there's one thing we should all agree on, whatever side of the political fence you're on, we should all agree that free speech is still a really good thing. It always has been. And it always will be. But now there's factions of people go, "Oh no, we got it, we don't like it, we've changed our mind, it wasn't going well for us, we don't like free speech anymore." People who want free speech, they only want free speech so they can go around saying awful things, which just isn't true. And even if it was, the good thing about free speech is people can say awful things back. It's a really good system, right? And you can't say anything under the laws of free speech. That's a total misconception. There are loads of caveats to free speech, all of which I agree with, actually. You can't incite violence. Good rule. You can't slander people. Good rule. You can't libel people, Fascinating fact about libel law. You can't libel the dead. So I could stand here and say, Gandhi used to take it up the arse. If I wanted. Which I do. But free speech is the most important human right there is. It's the right from which all other rights come. Without free speech, you couldn't have human rights, And We've got free speech, in theory, in this country for a little while longer. We can criticise the government, we can criticise the police, but we should give props to a country that allows us to do that, because we're the envy of some countries. In some countries, you criticise the police, you get beaten up, or worse, you criticise the government, you can be thrown in jail for life, you know. So they flee their oppression, quite rightly. You know, so would you. They flee their oppression, and they come here, they go, we want to come to England. We go, why? They go, free speech. We go, come on in, welcome. What are you going to do now? We're going to go on a march. What are you going to say? How shit England is. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. That is their right. But I'm too old now not to say what I want, you know. I want to say and do what I want all the time. I want to do my favourite thing all the time. I don't even like doing my second favourite thing if I think I could be doing my favourite thing. Do you know what I mean? Like my favourite thing is play tennis. I play every Friday. I keep Fridays free. I look forward to it. I play tennis. It sets me up for the week. So if ever on a Friday I have to do my second favourite thing, like 3 weeks ago, attend a neighbour's kid's funeral, I'm like... This is boring. But we all want respect, right? We all want respect, and we all want to raise our status in society. We can't help that. That's in our evolution. That's groups elected from when gossip used to control the tribes, right? And there's still 2 ways you can raise your status in society. One, be competent at something, like, oh, he's a good hunter, go with him, he's good for the tribe. The other way you can raise your status is have virtue, like, oh, he's not a great hunter, but he's wise or kind or whatever, you know. And then with the advent of social media, people suddenly discovered they could just say they were virtuous, no evidence, no proof, just loads of flags in their bio, right? And they would raise their status by bringing other people down, catching other people out. Oh, look what he said. Oh, he's not as virtuous. Look how good I am. Look how bad. And that's where the term virtue signalling comes from, right? And I hate it when they bring their kids into it. You can believe what you want, have opinions what you want, vote how you want, but go on a march, great. But when I see a 5-year-old holding a placard, he doesn't know what that says. That's the adult, you know. Like I saw someone tweet this once. Someone tweeted, my 4-year-old just looked up at me and said, Mummy, why does Rishi Sunak hate poor people? Never fucking happened, right? But the most annoying thing about virtue signalling is it's people being smug about having the morality of the age. You're what you're like because of where you are and when you are. Like, it's not brave of me to be an atheist in this country, in this year. It would have been brave 200 years ago, or mental. Right? And it would be brave in some other countries, or mental. Right? But people say things like, oh, I'm anti-racist. Yeah, well done. We all are. We know that's the way to be now, but it wouldn't have always been. Well, if you would have been born in a different place or time, maybe you wouldn't. They go, no, I'd been anti-racist whenever I was born. Well, people say things like, they go, oh yeah, I'd have definitely hidden Anne Frank. Would you? Would you? Anne Frank comes to your door in the war, right? You open it, right? There's Nazis everywhere, right? She goes, can I hide in here? You go, what up? Just face palmed Anne Frank, like that. Whoa, wait. What happens if they find you? They murder me and you. Go next door. They've got a lovely big attic, they've got a typewriter, you're gonna... But I'm anti-racist, of course I am. But I'm willing to admit that if I'd have been born 300 years ago and I was white and wealthy, I'd have probably have owned slaves. Because I'd be nice to them, so shut up, right? I'd be the best slave owner you've ever fucking... No, I'd dress mine well, I'd dress my slave... Yeah, I would. I'd dress mine in little suits, right? I'd go throw those dungarees away, put a little suit on all the other slaves looking at it, I go, right, let's go to the pub, boys, right? And all the white people go, you can't take your slaves to the pub. I go, fuck you, fascist. They're my slaves, I'll do what the fuck I want with them. We go in the pub, the barman will go, you can't bring them in here. I go, fuck we're going to the saloon bar as well. We got little suits on it. You look good in your suits, boys. Wear socks. We wear socks. I go, I'm buying the drinks, put your money away. You haven't got any money, but you know what I mean? And then we're just having a laugh, teasing each other, just bants. Like, if one of them got a bit too familiar, I would have to punish him, just to keep the status quo. If he called me gammon or something, which is the only racial slur allowed now, isn't it? That's fine. You can call a white person a gammon. It's fine for some reason. You can even be ageist. You go, you fucking old gammon, and it's totally acceptable for some reason. But I'm going to reclaim the word. You know, like black people have reclaimed the N-word, I'm going to reclaim the word gammon. So I'm going to be in Carluccio's in Hampstead, right, with all my white friends, and we'd just be hanging going, how you doing, McGammon, right? And if our black friend, Rupert, I said it was Hampstead, if Rupert came in and went, McGammon, I go, you don't fucking use that word. My point is, morality evolves. It moves with the times, like everything else. Just think of that. In a few generations, we've gone from owning slaves, being legal and respectable in the eyes of God, to a racist being the lowest of the low, isn't he? A racist is the worst person in society these days. Actually, a paedophile is the worst. Goes paedophile, then racist. A racist paedophile is the worst If I met a racist paedophile, I'd go, fuck the little black ones too, you bigot. You know? That's fine. It's fine. They won't cancel me for that. I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years, and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. I punch up. I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it, and he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's Island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't. What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why? He's like just there doing fuck. I would go. What? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go, what are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a big buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Hate crime. Whatever happens, someone always goes, oh, was it a hate crime? Why? Makes it so much worse. Does it? Why? If I was just walking home tonight and someone randomly jumped me, beat me up, mugged me, stabbed me, threw acid in my face, I wake up in intensive care, beep, beep, beep. I open my eyes through the bandages. There's a policeman. He goes, Miss Gervais? I go, yeah. He goes, we just want to let you know it wasn't a hate crime. I go, oh, thank God for that. Pretty hateful, isn't it? But no, a hate crime is something that's based on your race, disability, sexuality. So a guy with a gun, he wants to kill someone at random. He sees a crowd. He goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, bang, kills someone dead. He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigot? He goes, oh no. The judge goes, ah. 10 years. Right? Some other guy's got a gun. He goes, I fucking hate dwarves. Right? He sees a little dwarf. He takes aim, bang, kills the dwarf dead. Right? He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that dwarf? He goes, because I hate the little cunts. Right? The judge goes, you're a bigot. 20 years. Now, he shouldn't get more for shooting a dwarf. If anything, it's a harder shot, isn't it? judge. I go, what, you shot a dwarf at 100 metres, yeah? Fucking props, that is 5 years. In the army, get him in the army. I feel bad about that joke because I was reading about the tough time dwarves have had through history. Like, in medieval times, they used to torture them and kill them. They used to put them in barrels with spikes and roll them down the hill for a laugh, right? And then in Victorian times, they'd stick them in the circus and make them do dangerous fucking things. And then as late as the 1980s, right, I remember colleges used to have events like dwarf throwing, where they were like darts on a thing, and or